Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zabby here, back again with something very special indeed. As you can tell by the title of the video, that it is the My Hero Academia 2 Heroes movie reaction. I was always going to react to this, and it was always going to be the first movie that I actually reacted to. So I had this for I've had this about a week and a half now. I've been trying to find time to react to it. I've finally found time, and I'm excited. So as you can tell, got my Back Go hoodie on, got my Back Go hair out for the lads as well. So I figured I don't really do it that often anymore. So I had to get it out for this, right? Because if you don't know already, Back Go is my favorite character. He's my boy. So yeah. I believe this movie takes place between season 2 and 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think it's after Stain, right, and it's before the camp. Which means one thing: All Might's back. Come on. I'm hoping for some All Might action, because it was sad that he eventually had to hang up his boots in season 3. It was a very sad moment. You can watch my reaction to the whole show. If I remember correctly, I'll put a link down there so you can watch that. But yeah, this is going to be the movie reaction, and yeah, I'm fucking excited. I'm pumped. So this is how it's going to be done. I'm going to have my actual reactions and highlights and whatever in the description below. There'll be one to my website where the reaction is, and I'm also going to put an alternative link there to the Vimeo page where it is, because some people apparently are having trouble, so I'm going to start putting alternative links so people can actually watch it without any bother. So yeah, I don't know how long the actual reaction highlights video is going to be. I'm thinking it's probably going to be about 15 or 20 minutes. I don't want to go too much because I'm trying to keep things fair as possible and not just fucking show the whole goddamn thing. However, if you do want to watch my full-length reaction, then you can do. You will have to become a full-length tier patron over on my Patreon, and you will have to have your own reference footage as well. Remember, it's the Blu-ray version, okay? So I don't know if there's if it's any different, if it's a higher frame rate or whatever like that, So as long as you've got your own version, you'll be able to just hit play when I say play and then watch the whole thing along with me. But you will have to be a full-length tier patron in order to watch it. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really get into, because I don't need to do this whole previously thing and go through what happened beforehand. I mean, Stain and all that's just happened, so I'm trying to remember back to there where things were at that stage. But it's been a while. So I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. We're just going to get into this and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. That's it. Fuck. Alright. I want to know what the eagles symbolize, because at the very beginning they had the two eagles. And I wonder if it was, because it could represent different things from the start to the finish, because it could represent the two at the start, which was All Might and Dave, and then at the end it could symbolize Deku and Melissa, but it also could symbolize Deku and All Might as well. But yeah, fucking hell, damn that that bit at the end, man. I'm so glad I got it. I need to speak from that. I need to talk about that first. I am so fucking glad that I got that, because we never had a Deku and All Might team up moment in the show. I mean, we've had them in the same fight, but to have them both attack at the same time, it's something that I just really fucking needed, because I don't think we're ever going to get it again. I know in this movie how they set up the whole amplification thing. I don't think that's. I would be surprised if that pops up in the show later on in All Might, But there could be something later on, maybe in the show that could be a support related thing that allows All Might to do a bit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a bit up in the air on whether or not I want that to happen, because I would love to see it happen, just because I love All Might and everything like that. But it would also take away from the fact that All Might did his last thing, and I think there's something really special about All Might going out the way he did, and hanging up his boots that way. So I'm a bit in two minds of whether or not I would want that to happen in the show in the future. But them two teaming up at the end was so fucking I said during the reaction, I don't know if it'll make the highlights reaction video, but I said during the reaction that it reminds me so much of the Dragon Ball Z Goku and Gohan father son Kamehameha thing, you know. And I'm so happy they got it. Like I'm so happy they managed to have it at one point, you know. So because if you know, if All Might has fought his last fight, which he probably has done, then at least it's happened once, you know. It's so fucking awesome. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, we'll start from the beginning. So All Might, yeah, so he's back. The opening, awesome. Just after seeing All Might again, like in his prime as well, doing his shit. I mean, actually, I don't even know if he wasn't really in his prime then, was he? That was like his student days. But like back then, just seeing him do his thing, like I immediately got goosebumps again. Like that whole opening scene was great, you know, because I mean, I had such a fucking. It was tough having to let him go in season 3, and just seeing it again is just so nice to see, you know. So yeah, that whole opening was great to see, great to witness. So yeah, they explained a bit more on like Eye Island. So it's the place where all the greatest minds come together, and it's basically, it's got like the security is like as strong as Tartarus prison is really. So yeah, I guess that must have been a hint then, really at the very beginning, when they just managed to get in, even though it's got like Tartarus prison security type like security level and stuff, that they were just able to just get in as if nothing just happened, you know. So I guess that was a sort of giveaway that it was an inside kind of job, and I was just taking it all in, so I didn't notice. But yeah. So David doesn't know about One for All, but he does obviously know about the, you know, him weakening. I did forget about that because in the show, All Might does say that there's people that knows about him weakening, and he says a friend, right? And I think that's who he was meaning, and it wasn't the cop, right? Could be wrong, but it would make sense of David knowing, and it makes sense for his reasoning into wanting to create something like an enhancement. What the fuck's the word? Amplification type support item that would, you know, allow All Might to be back at full strength. And he even says beyond it as well. So that's pretty fucking nuts. But so the sponsors, they took it away, and that's what caused David to, you know, to do this whole thing with urging from Sam. David didn't want to do it, and I don't think he would have done it if Sam hadn't been fucking prodding him with a stick, telling him to fucking do it. Fuck you, Sam. Hate you. Bastard. So yeah, I get it. I get the reason why they would take it away, because any fucking villain to get their hands on that, well, like you saw there, like that's pretty fucking bad. You know what I mean? I don't know if like All for One has like an amplification quirk. Like there might be something like that, a lot, like, you know, that he has. But if All Might was to get a hold of that on top of what he already has, like, you know what I mean? Like that could be fucking, that's huge. So, you know, I get why they would take it away, but I also get why, you know, David Shield would be urged into fucking, you know, trying to get it back for All Might's sake. But yeah, we went through like a list of All Might's like different age outfits. The bronze one, cool as fuck. It's like I can't from picture like memory. It's more of like it's not like out there like blue, white, and red and yellow and shit. But it's like, I think it's like black and a bit more. No, just look cool. Just look cool. But yeah, his Golden Age one's obviously the OG, the one that we've been brought up to see. But it's nice seeing these old like different age outfits and stuff. That's really cool. And the silver one's the Silver Age one. The one that he uses when he's teaching, right? I believe so. Anyway, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Bronze Age one's cool as fuck. So yeah, we've got introduced obviously David Shield and stuff. Top tier scientist, Nobel Prize and all of that good stuff. So yeah, we never actually got a we never actually got told what David's quirk was. At least I don't think we did, unless it was like slyly mentioned like once and then never said again. but he does have one. It just wasn't enough to make him a hero. So I guess it could be something like similar to that support girls from the show, where like hers is like zooming in. It's like, well, that alone isn't really enough to become a hero. I mean, it helps, but yeah. And then Melissa, of course, doesn't have one either. She's quirkless, but she is very smart though, and she's very perceptive. She can like see things, slight little details she picks up on. So yeah, so she's a third year, and she goes to school on Island itself, which is essentially a school for the top tier scientists that are wanting to get into sort of like that kind of line of work. And I was thinking that I'm gonna have to fucking look it up now because I can't, for the life of me, fucking remember her name. My Hero support girl. What's her name? What's her name? Mei Hatsumi. That was it. Fuck's sake. So I mean, bear with me. Obviously, I haven't fucking watched the show since last year, so it's just not like a prominent character, but she turns up every now and again. So Mei Hatsumi, yeah, I would imagine she would probably want to go there, right? So, I mean, you see, I don't know, because I don't know if it's like, you would think with it being science, like a science type school, that it would be perfect for like, that would be top tier like support school level, right? But UA being like the top hero core school, like I'd imagine that would be like the best school to go to for the hero class, right? But for support, you'd imagine that would be over there. So I wonder if, I don't know. I guess Mei Hatsumi, like, she wouldn't change schools. I mean, that could be something that happens later on down the line, but oh well. So yeah. I liked watching the line chart that showed up when All Might was in like the pod and David was testing his like vitals and stuff like that and seeing how far his power had weakened. That you can see the exact point that he give Deku the power, and like the points in which it like drastically goes down like after certain fights he's been involved in and stuff. I'd imagine that one that's like at the end where it's like a proper thingy drop. I'd imagine that was the Nomu fight, right? But yeah, that was cool. Cool, nice to see. It's nice to see like just a physical, like an actual representation of it, like a visual, just to see. Because all we really get is like we know how long he can do it for, like how long he can hold the form for, right? But you never really get like any more detail other than that. So yeah, where are we? Yeah, the full gauntlet thing. Melissa had used, or she'd made a full gauntlet, which basically had 3 uses out of it, and then it would break. So it'd end up breaking after the last one there at the end. Makes sense, obviously in continuity, that obviously Deku doesn't have it in season 3 because of that. Would have come in handy. I guess it does like set up this idea that, because I think it's sort of going ahead with this idea that with All Might and Dave being the the past and moving into the future, I think that would be Deku and Melissa. So I would hope that that's the relationship that they're making is a similar one to All Might's and Dave's, and it does set up in the future like this full gauntlet thing that Melissa's capable of doing these things, that she would able to do that in the future and like sort of progress upon that, and maybe it'll get to a point where he can use 100% constantly. I imagine that would probably be a way down the line, but it does set up that, so that's cool. Yeah, I like the character continuity as well. I mean, I don't think it would have been that hard to fuck that up because they were making this movie like around the same time they were doing like making season 3, right? So it makes sense that it would all line up in the same and go the same way. So each character, like I said, with them deciding on whether or not they wanted to actually go out and fight and like help, that people would, some characters would be a bit more hesitant than others. You had Ida and Yaoyorozu, and it's exactly the same with their group being in season 3 at the is it Camino Ward? It might be, where All Might had his last stand and stuff, and they were trying to save Bakugo, right? And they had that whole group thing. The dynamic's very similar in this in that scene. So yeah. Also, is it just me, or does the guy on the security system, right? The guy who was like up top on the panel, right, with the white like straggly hair. he looked, in some sentences, he sounded exactly like the guy who was doing the provisional licensing exam. Now, here's the thing. When Sam and David were talking and it was revealed that they were a part of it, that they were getting people to help them out with, I don't know if that guy who did the provisional licensing exam would be a part of that. Like, would he allow himself to, like, act like hire heroes to act like villains, you know, like, kind of. I don't know if he would have been a part of that, because we never got to see exactly how far down the villains, like, were a part of the master plan to be villains anyway. You know? So, I don't know. But he looked and he sounded like him. He didn't sound as much like him, but there was some lines where, like, it did sound a bit like him. But that's just me. I mean, it is what it is. Where I'm up to. Did the sponsor thing, the revelation. Yeah, he did it for All Might. Yeah, the villain guy. So we didn't get his name, I don't think, but he's essentially Magneto. So he can manipulate metal and stuff. And then that just got crazy once it amplified. I mean, to the point where he could literally lift it from fucking. Basically, took like all this metal from the full tower. It was a lot. So yeah, you can only imagine like what that kind of does to other people's. You know, like if it was on All Might, for instance, like yeah, he probably would be back to like to a nuts level, you know. So yeah, I would love to know like the ins and outs of how that works. But I'm thinking because it's not like. I think because it's a bit of a far-fetched, almost. It's so like. It's technology that we couldn't even comprehend in a world of like our world, like reality. So we're not going to be able to comprehend it in a world where there's fucking, you know, superpowers and shit, is it? So yeah, I guess it's best that they didn't have to go into details and just say, yeah, we created this, you know. So yeah, and then of course there was a fucking connection to All for One. Of course there was. So yeah, he gave him multiple quirks. The one that intrigued me was the one where. So the Magneto guy, whatever the fuck, grabbed All Might's rib, right? And that affected Deku somehow. And I don't know how. I don't think it was just Deku, like, because he'd like overdone, like, you know, he'd overdone it a bit, so his body, like, you know, he felt it in his body. I don't think that was it. It seemed like it almost like it connected because All Might could feel it, Deku could feel it, and that wasn't explained. So I don't know what that's about, but I don't know. It was interesting though. That was the one that intrigued me. So he was able to enhance his muscles as well. You see, what I'm trying to think of is because he can take away, All for One can take away quirks from other people and stuff like that, right? So I'm like trying to go back through like different people of like who he could have taken away from, but then I'm thinking nah, because I mean, well, first of all, it looks different to Muscular, and second of all, this took place before Muscular, so it wouldn't be him, would it? Because I thought like it would have been good if like because like Muscular and all that failed, that he was like, oh yeah, useless, takes away Muscular's quirk and gives it to that guy, but nah, that's clearly hasn't happened because it hasn't happened yet, so it wouldn't, would it? so yeah. And yeah, like there we go. We're back to the ending again after all that. I think those are the main points, and I picked up with that. I wasn't even sure whether I was even going to write down notes for this, but I decided to in the end because you know, there would have been something that I missed out on, and I would have, you know, I didn't know what I was getting into. You know, there might have been like details that would have helped in, you know, having like in the show going forward and stuff, and there has been. So I'm glad that I wrote some stuff down here. But the last thing I wanted to touch on is in the end credits there. David's in hospital, right? And Melissa's there and touches his hand, and he's got a ring on his finger. I don't know why they would bother to put that in unless at some point we're going to get introduced to David's wife. I mean, I guess it could just be a detail just to say that he does have a wife, I guess. But like, you know, it could be a thing where we're introduced. I mean, if it's going to be a thing with like Deku and Melissa now being Deku's sort of you know, partner with support items and stuff like that we'll eventually get to meet. But I just thought it was interesting that they actually decided to, you know, put that in. I mean, I guess it doesn't take much just to put in the ring, but you know, it's just interesting how it like sort of focused on it a bit. I know the focus was on like her putting his hand on him, but putting her hand on, but yeah. But yeah, that was fucking awesome. Great movie. Love it. That was so sick. And it's sort of appeased my appetite, satiated my appetite for My Hero that I've been lacking for a long time. And now we just need to wait until October. So yeah. Oh god. Hopefully it's not a long wait for that though. It's around that end we're getting like Haikyuu and stuff as well. That's gonna be nuts. We've got some Attack on Titan as well to help with through the next 10 weeks, I think. It's only 10 episodes, I think. But yeah. So that was sick. That was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. That was really, really cool. So yeah, that is all. That's all I've got. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, if you wanted to see the full length, then you can get full length down in my in the description to my Patreon. There's a lot of different tiers there you can get access to. Like early access gives you access to shows a week early, and you can get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. So if you're interested in that, you can get that. And yeah, and that is pretty much it. You know, join the Discord. The link's also down there. You can come over, get any information regarding my content, or you can just come over and talk to me in the community if that's what you'd wish. But yeah, I don't think I need anything else to really talk about. So that is also. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.